Hiya folks, Gareth here, and this is the Mio MiVue 688 dashboard camera that we've just received in for review. And we're going to have a quick unboxing of it here, and then I'll take it out on the road and see how it performs and stick the footage in later on. Alright, so this retails for about £145, £150 perhaps, depending on where you're looking. You can get it off Amazon, and I'll have links in the notes below if you're interested in picking one of these up. But it looks like a very a dinky little system, to be honest, that looks a bit like an old-fashioned sat-nav or what have you, with a camera on the back and a screen on the front, or a screen on the back and a camera on the front, whatever way you want to look at it. So what we have contents listed here, which we're going to go through. We have basic specifications here. There's 110 or we've got 1080p full HD recording at 30 frames per second. High quality Sony optic sensor. Well, that's actually quite impressive. For optimal view and superior quality, especially in low light conditions. Safety camera warnings. Oh no, I hate those. And GPS tracking. Alright, so it does have some fairly decent features to it. And well, we'll just dig in and see how it goes. Right, so first up we have a considerably huge charger. Right off the bat, it's a fail. This seems to be more and more of a problem. Obviously our dashboards and windscreens are becoming so filled with tech. You've got your phone, you've got probably maybe a Bluetooth connection and a dashboard camera. Some people even have dedicated GPS, and this is going to take up your entire cigarette lighter functionality from the dashboard, which is a bit of a pain. There's no expandable USB on this, which we really need in this day and age, because if I put this in, I can't charge my phone while I'm driving. That's a bit of a deal breaker for me right now. Not for everyone, but for me at least. There appears to be an LED on the back here, so it can tell if it's charging or active or what have you. There's a long cord here, so if you have a cigarette lighter in the boot or something, you might be able to stretch it the whole way along there. That's something I'll have to look into. And then we have a mini USB on this end, which is, I suppose, quite old, but it's not totally redundant tech. You can still find connectors for that sort of thing, so you could swap this out for a better one off eBay or Amazon if absolutely required. So yeah, you could get us a USB on that. This is a bit annoying. Elsewhere in the box we have the mount, which looks fairly standard. It's quite small actually. That's maybe about 2 inches across in diameter, radius, diameter, circumference. Yeah, across here is about 2 inches. There's a little hook here that obviously leads in for the case to go on, and then this is just a suction puller there. So very, very standard, and actually strong, very strong. They usually are. And this must be where the actual wee camera is. It appears to be tiny. It is, it's tiny. And there is no mount other than that one, so obviously this connects directly into this. It is, it's very, very small. Ooh, I really like this actually. That's dinky, that's virtually no presence at all, and hides up behind the windscreen viewer. I suppose there's a screen on it, so you don't really want to do that. But yeah, that's really small. For scale, there's a Nexus 6P. Fair enough. Okay. Yep. And they sent along an 8GB card as well. It's worth mentioning that too, with an SD adapter. So it'll be interesting to see just how much footage we managed to get on that. Right, so looking around the device, we have a screen protector on here that shows MiVue 688, and those features from the back of the box reiterated here. Includes lifetime safety camera, including lifetime safety cameras. Don't know what that is, but I'm sure someone will tell me in the comments below. On this side there's a power button. Around here, nothing. That doesn't move in any way. That's just a lens. Then there's a speaker here, and on this side we have 4 buttons, up and down, and 2 function buttons for some reason, and then another button here. Okay. On the bottom we have a slot for the micro SD card, and on the top we have the power connector, and there's some screw mounts there. So the screen itself is that size, so that's what, about 3 inches maybe. And we'll turn it on and see if there's any juice in it to get it going. Okay, so this should just connect, hopefully. There we go, we've got a wee charge light coming on there. Oh, hello. Right, so we get a warning straight up. We're going into no SD card inserted. Right, so we'll deal with that. Actually, while we're doing this, we'll have a quick look through the paraphernalia that's included. We have register today, advertising the website, limited warranty statement, and a quick start guide to all the bits and pieces. What is it? 12. Continuous recording, parking recording, playback mode. Wow, there seems to be feature filled here, if anything. Alright, so we got the SD card in now. Turn it back on again. And we've started recording right off the bat. Okay, so we hit this button. What does it do? Emergency recording. Press it again. Okay, we'll just leave it recording then whilst we're doing this. It's default to kilometers per hour. We've got the time up at the top. We've got GPS. Not connected. The screen has turned off to avoid distraction whilst driving. We press that to get the screen back probably. So if we hit this, we take a still shot, and I'll post that in the video here. This GPS is not fixed. That doesn't do anything, and this brings up a menu. So we've got, we'll use these buttons up and down to scroll through the menu. We have our file playback. We'll have a look and see what those options are. First SD card, camera, switches us to the camera as opposed to giving us functions. Sound recording, on or off. We'll keep it on for the purposes of review. Driving safety assistance, calibration. Please adjust your device to, yeah, that's okay, for getting it in line with your bonnet or hood, whatever you like. What was the other options under calibrate? No, there wasn't. LDWS, that's the lane departure warning system, isn't it? So we've got voice, beep, and off. We'll keep it on voice to start with, then we'll move it to beep whenever it annoys us, and then we'll eventually turn it off. Headlight reminder, oh, that's handy. We'll keep that on too. Wonder how that works during daylight time. So I suppose it's got the time built into it, so it'll know. Driver fatigue alert, so that what this does is it tickles you to wake you back up again. We'll keep it off for the time being. No, we'll turn it on actually for 2 hours. I should hopefully be doing a 2-hour drive tonight, so we'll be able to see what happens there. Eco drive indicator. Fire that on. It's probably something to do with speed limits or whatever. And front collision warning system, I'm guessing, something along those lines. We'll turn that on to beep. Did we do all this? Parking mode. detection method. Both camera and G-center. I'll keep it on G-sensor. Auto entry. Okay, fair enough. Motion detection. Keep it on medium. G-sensor sensitivity. We'll keep it on default, whatever it happens to be. And LED indicator. I suppose we don't really need that. Video recording. Does this give us options? Video length. So we can change it, right, okay, for what it transplants on the card. 1 minute, 3 minutes, or 5 minutes. WDR. I'm not entirely sure what that means right now, but we'll check it out. EV. Okay, that changes like the ISO or whatever. G sensor sensitivity again. Timestamps. We will keep our coordinates and G sensor. We'll keep it on coordinates. And speed stamp. We'll put that on just to incriminate myself in the video if I happen to slip over the 30 miles an hour or 20 miles an hour in the centre of Belfast. And then text stamp. We can put on what we want. Not touchscreen, so we won't do that right now. System. Satellites. I'm sure that is information that's useful to some people. GPS or GLONASS. Date and time. System sound. It does appear to be a bit of a lag whenever you go back from this menu to the next, or the one behind it. Welcome sound. We'll keep that on for the time being. Volume. That wasn't on full volume, that's about midway through. And finally, LCD standby. Oh, so we can change that. Always on, HUD 10 seconds, 1 minute, 3 minutes. There might be more. No, there's not. Language. Use English, and there's various other ones. Distance unit, we need to change that to, we'll go Imperial. Storage allocation. So again, we can set our storage card up to record a certain amount of certain things before it starts overwriting stuff. But given this is an 8GB card, I imagine it will take a wee while before it starts overwriting any of the information that it's already captured. So unless you're going for a really long trip, or you just don't want to have to change it terribly often, and there's a bunch of different options for that there. And then restore defaults back to the way you were, and version is that currently. I haven't checked to see if there's any other firmwares. Okay, so there we have it. That's it so far. We'll go and hook it into the car and go out and get some footage. See how well we do. It's a lovely little camera. Straight up. Oh, we have the. Remember to take that off. So these are probably warnings because I'm throwing the camera around. Oh no, we're dying! But it's not that easy to turn it off, I'm guessing. Okay, so we'll turn it off for the time being, and we'll take it down, plug it into the car, and see how we go. Good stuff. Okay, so first up we go into night travel, because this was the first test I did of the camera. I had to go for a long drive from Belfast to Londonderry, which is on the other side of Northern Ireland. And to be honest, I'm a bit confused because it's only captured a certain portion of the journey. I don't know if that means that it wasn't recording. It certainly sent out alarm bells the whole way up saying speed limits and lane departure warnings. However, it's really only captured the last leg of it coming back into Belfast, And I was actually hoping to put together a whole time-lapse of the journey. I thought at night it might be quite interesting. However, as you can see here, we are on a major motorway coming back in. There isn't too much in the way of traffic lights to illuminate the whole road. It's relying pretty much exclusively on my headlights and the headlights of others. You can see a little bit of redness at the top there. That appears to be part of the crossbar across the top of the windscreen, where the night vision is kicking in because it's white. But things do seem to be quite crisp and clear, whilst there is just blackness for the most part. The sign coming up here on the left is almost clear, and I'm sure if you were to zoom in on that, you'd probably be able to make out some of the details on there. Now, we're approaching a car, so we should be able to see the number plate, which is not entirely visible. The conditions were quite good. I think there's a little bit of rain on the window, but not enough to warrant the window wipers at this time. But things record quite well. Being the avid gamer that I am, I'm actually listening to the IGN podcast, and I'm pretty sure those guys wouldn't mind too much if I was to turn on a little bit of their sound, because it is such a good podcast and very much worth listening to for all your movie, games, and even technology news around the UK at the moment.
Became the first ever and one of the very few Western samurai. So this guy is a real person. He was an English explorer who went over to Japan.
The audio capture is relatively good, very clear. You can make out what people are saying in the cars as we drive. But it is very unfair to judge this camera entirely on night footage, so we're going to switch over to some day footage and see how well it does with better light. That said, these old grey days here in Northern Ireland aren't great for judging this sort of thing. It's hardly the Hawaiian tropics that we might get from another review, but this is the UK. It's February, and this kind of weather is to be expected, especially at 8 o'clock in the morning. Clarity wise, everything you need is being captured on the recording here. We've got number plates doing quite well. We've got makes of cars, colours being fairly represented, and a good wide angle to capture all lanes, pavements, and everything you could possibly need. Down at the bottom right hand corner we have the time and the date with the speed on the very far right there, and the coordinates in below that, which is very handy as well. It also gives us a little bit of a brand of the type of camera this is being captured on, and it's all printed quite nicely, quite legibly down at the bottom with a yellow font that will stand out against the generally black road or dark night. It's not something that's going to blur into the surroundings quite so easily. Now, it's important to mention that I'm not driving the car at this point in time, it's my wife. So it all seems quite good, but what's wrong with the camera? Well, the safety features are quite poor. They don't work terribly well. They constantly tell you to turn your lights on at night whenever your lights are already on. Now perhaps you might need better bulbs or something. Lane departure warnings and front collision warnings go off all the time, even whenever you're not close to any other cars or changing lane. It is kind of irritating. However, these settings can be turned off, but the fact that you have to turn them off shows that they are kind of half-baked and unnecessary. Though the biggest glaring issue is the fact that you don't get a micro SD card packaged with the bundle, so you cannot walk into a shop, pick one of these up, walk out and put it in your car. Other than that, it is a pretty good unit. The output is very satisfying. It's £155, which I think is a little bit too much, and you aren't getting any added extra. It is merely the camera and the footage that you want from it. So I would wait until maybe this is on sale for about possibly £90 to £100. This would be very much worth it then, and that would help with the extra costs of having to add in a £10 micro SD card. So that's the MiVue 688 in a nutshell. A fairly decent camera with some not so great extras and lacking a few little bits in the box that should have been there by default. So hit that subscribe button down below, let me know what you think in the comments, and take care.